you praying and trusting God for something specific in your life? Or maybe you just need a reminder that God knows every last little detail in your life. He not only knows about it, but he deeply cares for every detail of your life. I'm going to share with you one of my favorite memories of God's provision. Early in our marriage, we were overseas and we were studying. So there were many times when we just prayed and had to count on God's provision for everything imaginable. So you ever been in a position where your toothpaste is running low and the tube is coming to the end of its life and what it's going to give you? You gotta pull off the top, and then you gotta squeeze, and then you gotta dig your thumbs in up here just to hope to get this tiny little bit of toothpaste. Well, I was in a position like that one morning. So I'd been doing that for a little bit, and I had gotten every last little bit that I could get out of the top. There was like nothing left. Like that was the end of the toothpaste. It was sad and sorry. There's just nothing left. Like, you're done. So here we are. We're starving students and we're struggling because we're running out of toothpaste. Have you ever been in a tough situation and you've literally needed God to show up? Sometimes it's the big situations in life where it's like, we need a miracle, God has to show up, or there's no more hope left. And then there's also some times in life where there's small moments, but there are details or there's circumstances that are challenging and other people might not know about it, or they might not understand how it's affecting you. And it might be a small detail in the scope of life, or for somebody else's situation, but for you in that moment, there is great significance to that event. So we'd had those big miracles as well. We'd experienced some of those, which I'm so grateful for. But I love this story I'm about to share with you because this tiny little detail that really was important to me and to my husband, it meant a lot to us. God showed us that he really cared about every small little thing, not just the huge things when God has to show up, but he also cares about the tiny little details of your life. If you could use a reminder that God deeply cares about every detail of your life, stick with me to the end. I'm going to give you a word of encouragement and share the rest of the story with you. So there I was, newly married and no toothpaste. I started praying. What do? We had no money and we needed toothpaste. So all I really knew to do was to pray. So I started asking God, I'm like, Lord, I need some clean teeth and I need some fresh breath. I am a newly married woman and I'm like, please have mercy. And I just started asking him for some toothpaste. I didn't really know what I was thinking because it was kind of an odd request in the morning to be asking God for toothpaste. Like the normal thing is like, okay, well, you grab a couple bucks and you go buy the cheapest toothpaste if you can't afford to get your favorite toothpaste or a really clean, healthy toothpaste or whatever. But when I say starving students, I mean, we had nothing. We didn't have 10 cents to our name. This was literally a situation, as ridiculously small as it is, where God did really need to show up in that moment for this situation to have a better outcome. So I didn't know what to do. I'm like, should I just pace back and forth and pray? Do I need to walk outside? Should I go to this store even though I don't have money? I was just trying to figure out what to do, but I was praying. And as I was praying and I was starting to struggle about feeling anxious because the minutes are ticking on and the schedule has to get moving for the day. And as I was waiting and praying for this toothpaste, it took maybe 15 minutes or so and I was starting to feel anxious because we needed to get going for the day. And I was trying to think of, are there any other solutions? Is there anything else that I can think of? And, I don't think I was aware of baking soda or anything, and we were renting at the time, so we didn't have our own space. So I didn't know what other solution there was other than to pray at that time. So there was about a 15-minute lag period where I was praying and I was starting to get anxious. What am I going to do? I don't want to show up at school with bad breath and unclean teeth. And I was like, that is so gross. Please, God. Suddenly I hear and I was like, oh, that's weird. People usually don't come to the door at this time of day. So I go to the door and lo and behold, it's a student that was from the school, but we didn't know the person well, maybe talked to them a couple of times, but it wasn't a friend. It wasn't somebody that we knew well. It was just someone that I recognized. And this person was standing at the door and they were like, and they looked embarrassed. They looked like, I don't really know why I'm here. And so finally I'm like, can I help you? Why are you here? And he said, well, I was in prayer this morning, and this is really gonna sound weird. I don't know, but he's like, I really felt like God told me to come here right now and give you this. And then he hands me a tube of toothpaste. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I've been praying for the last several minutes. I need toothpaste, and you're coming with a new fresh tube of toothpaste? Like right now? You've got to be kidding me. This is amazing. Subscribe to this channel and pass this video on to someone who could use a little encouragement today. If you're worried, or if you're wondering if God even sees what you're going through, or if it just feels like a really hard time and there are so many pressing needs on your life, or you're just overwhelmed, life is really challenging sometimes. And I'm sharing this story and I'm kind of laughing and smiling about it now because I'm on the other end of it. But when you're in a situation and you don't know where a simple thing like toothpaste is going to come from, that's like your world is imploding almost, because you're like, I need this. This is super meaningful to me right now. So sometimes when we're in a situation, whether it's a really small thing like a tube of toothpaste, or maybe it's something really significant, we need encouragement in those moments, because in that moment, our whole world might feel like it revolves around the detail. If you're worried or doubtful, you don't even know maybe if God sees what you're going through or the needs that you have. It can be something super small and insignificant seeming, like needing a tube of toothpaste, or it might be something huge and significant. This is just meant to be a little encouragement to somebody out there who needs a little reminder, whether it's a small situation or a big situation. God sees every last detail in your life. He sees, he knows, and he cares deeply about the things that are impacting you. Luke 12 verse 7 says, "Why, even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, you are of more value than many sparrows." My prayer is that this little testimony will be an encouragement to you, that whether it is a little detail of your life or something very significant, God sees and knows everything. Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are not you of more value than they?" It might not seem like there's an easy solution to your challenge or to your need right now, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual. But God knows, and he cares deeply for the details of his creation, and he cares deeply about you. You are of so much more value than birds, and he tells us that he takes care of the little sparrows and that he will also take care of you. This is just a little reminder for someone today that God sees the little details and he cares. Trust him. If you could use a prayer today, please just drop in the comments section. Please pray. I'd be so honored to pray for you today. And if you have a story of God's provision, please feel free to share some of that in the comments below. Somebody out there needs the encouragement of what God has done in your life. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you.